hey kids, and welcome back to the Hey Lamb podcast. It's me, your host, Matt, aka Treacle. Catch me on Instagram and Twitter at TreacleTarts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me once again. You know the deal. We get to chat and geek out together. All things Mariah Carey. Thank you to those of you who are supporting the podcast over on Instagram. It's at Hey Lamb Podcast. And for those of you who are buying me the occasional splash on buymeacoffee.com/HeyLamb, thank you so much. That is so generous and much appreciated. Today we're welcoming back a guest to the podcast who was in, I think, one of the first 5 episodes. We were just talking about it. Welcome back, please, Joshua Tonks. Hey, Josh, how are you doing?
I am good, thank you. It's so nice to see you. It's been ages.
It has been forever because we just said before we started recording, I think it was like episode 5 or something, and it was the Britney episode, and everyone that I talked to about the podcast episodes, I'm like, I had like Remy did this, like Charm Bracelet, and Taz has done a few. Josh did the Britney episode. That was
the crossover.
Yeah, I love that. I love a crossover, and we'll get to Britney. We need an update. But first of all, how have you been and where have you been? Because, well, just tell everyone like what's been new with you, because you've been on a little summer adventure.
Yeah, I have. So actually, I got to spend the summer in Canada. I was working at a summer camp, and I was head of drama there, directing all their musicals. And it was lovely. Great weather, great people. We got to do it all safely. I mean, trying to get out of the country and then into the camp, like all the protocols were insane. But once we'd done that, it was like an amazing experience. So I got back just under 2 weeks ago.
Wow. So yeah, how many weeks or months actually were you gone for? That was a long trip.
Yeah, like normally it's just under 2 months, the camp. But because of obviously COVID, everyone's favorite word, I had to quarantine in a hotel for 14 days. So me and thankfully my best friend got to quarantine in the same in the same hotel,
nice.
Same room. So we were chill. We like watched a load of movies and we like did like daily workouts and stuff, and went for our we were allowed to walk around the hotel like for 15 minutes a day. It was crazy. I know. It's like being in prison. But it was it was worth it, definitely, for sure.
I remember the quarantine period actually, because I feel like that's because I wasn't back to work like properly at that point. So I had free time and you had free time, and you catch the like people you're chatting with and friends that are like have got free time, because first last time we were decently like chatty on WhatsApp because you're like, I'm in quarantine. I'm so bored.
Yeah, it was back in June. And that's the thing. I feel like I've missed so much because out at camp there is one room that has Wi-Fi, and only 10 people can use it at a time.
Oh, wow.
And it's like you are literally out in the middle of nowhere. And you know what? It's lovely because we spend so much time on our phones and on our screens, especially because of the sort of last 18 months we've had. Whereas there, it's like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I'm gonna go canoe, or I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go climb some ropes, or go for a walk in the woods. It's fab.
I think that's great. I think that's what camp should be.
For sure.
Just like a whole disconnect. And I mean, just the past like few days, the weather's been quite nice, and I'm trying to, if I'm not working, leave the phone indoors and I'm out. And I think it's a great way to disconnect.
So with your balcony.
My balcony is getting a lot of Instagram exposure at the minute because August was lame, and then September has just skipped in.
It's been so good.
It's been amazing. And I look at the forecast, I'm like, oh, it's like cloudy, like a little bit sunny, and then I'm like, hang on a minute, how much work have I got to get done today? What can I push to like later in the evening and just do it after like 7 p.m. I'm like, I'll gladly work from home 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. if I can get 3 hours and just like catch. Like today I caught myself, I was like, I actually caught a little bit of sun. I feel a little bit red, got a little bit of like a pink glow going. Loving it.
Yeah. The legs out, the tan legs. I'm like, yes.
It's got to be done.
Mariah spends no time in the sun, apparently. Mariah spends no time in the sun. I was
listening. Apparently.
Well, it's Christopher Buckle, I think I was listening to. Chat on another podcast, gasp. But I was listening to it, catching up on some of the ones that I'd missed.
Yeah.
He was saying that, she just doesn't go in the sun. And I was like, fine, I'm never going in the sun again.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I do feel the difference, and I do see the difference. And when was it sunny here? June, July, we had some sun in July, and there was a lot of sun out of nowhere, and I was out in it for a while, and I would come in, I'm like, ooh, yeah, not feeling great, not looking. I don't know. You get the color, but then you get like the
Yeah.
texture start to come through,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
nope, 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 that's
Nope.
too much.
I got I don't. I'm never in the sun, and we had to do our shows at camp outside. They've got a lovely amphitheater, which is great. But when you're
Oh,
like
cool.
putting up lights and like hammering set together and all of this out in the sun, you forget. And so
Mm.
week one, I was like, I've got a tan for like the first time in my life. Took my shirt off, and it was like a t-shirt tan. So it was just my face, neck, and forearms, and then me battling to try and even that out for the next two
Yeah.
weeks was just. Let's just say I didn't win that battle.
Oh no, no. That's the thing, you gotta rotate. Even like today, I'm like, right, you gotta take the shades up, just lay back and like
Yeah.
just, close your eyes, don't want the sunglass marks. I've been really sneaky and I found a way I can arrange my furniture with some strategic cushion and towel placements. I can tan in the Rudy Nudie if I want to just balance out a few lines. I've sussed that one out this year. I don't want to give any inadvertent unwanted shows to passers-by or people walking it, whatever.
Got to keep it clean in this day and age.
Yeah, but tan lines, no. One thing we got to touch on it. We mentioned very briefly, but Britney. I mean, oh my gosh, we spoke. The whole like the parallels between what she's been going through, how much exposure it's been getting, and then going back to Mariah's memoir and all that glitters. We were talking about the parallels and everything, but so much has happened. Even like today, I think as I was like getting ready to sit down and chat with you, I think a headline popped up on my phone that reportedly it's being reported that like the conservatorship is due to end this fall for Americans listening. So I mean, oh my gosh, what? I mean, have you kept up with it all while you've been away with your little Wi-Fi room?
I tried my best. It was crazy. Like we were in lockdown we're in quarantine for 2 weeks. The day before we're supposed to go off to camp, no Wi-Fi, is when the court case, sort of the court case. I make it sound like she's on trial, but like the sort of the hearing happened where she got to speak finally, and that happened the day before. So I'm like frantically listening in the hotel, trying to get all of this information because that was, I think, the game changer really, where she finally got to speak and just got to like blur everything out and kind of say that like, she'd sort of been in denial and sort of lying about how happy she was. And it sort of really legitimized the sort of Free Britney movement, which I was very much on the fence about. I thought it was an oversimplification of something that was really probably more complicated and more serious until we heard it from her. And then we did hear it from her, and that what has happened to her has been like criminal. Like it's horrifying. It's awful. But what's been, I guess, really nice is to sort of see like sort of the positive impact that's had to a degree. I mean, it's still, excuse my language, a bit of a shit show, but she's engaged. She deleted her Instagram for a little bit. I mean, she's back, classic, but it's
that freaked everyone out for a hot minute. Everyone freaked out.
Well, I wasn't freaked out. I was like, good.
Okay.
Clear it all, and like
cleanse.
Yeah. But I mean, she hasn't. She's absolutely back to her old tricks. But the fact that she wasn't allowed to get engaged and all of that, and now is, sort of shows that maybe that the wheels are in motion for things, positive things to happen. So fingers crossed. I feel like I just splurged, but like it's so much happened so quickly. It was mad. It was crazy.
I mean, I feel like the last time you and I spoke here on the podcast, there was a lot of attention, but it's just intensified. That spotlight has just got like burning, bright, hot. It's just been crazy. And then just like the pressure, to her father, you need to step down, just get the heck out of the way now.
Global pressure. Like
yeah, literally from all around the world. Everybody wants you just to step down and just get out of the picture. So yeah, it's just I knew it was never going to go away. I knew that further down the line, you and I would talk again and touch on it. But I'm glad. I knew it was never going to go away. I'm glad it never did go away, and it still isn't going to go away because she's not out of it yet. And there's still work to be done.
Being, though, a completely like she. I always joke and say that her like next fragrance should be called Bare Minimum because she literally doesn't lift a finger, and yet is still like one of the most relevant people on the planet. Like just getting, I think she got awarded like Time Magazine's most influential person of the year because of like the attention that she's brought to conservatorships and this
Yeah.
sort of like, like malpractice or whatever. I don't know the terminology, but like, it's the fact that she's like not worked officially really since 2019,
Mm.
2018, 19, and is still like the name on everybody's lips. Like the kids at camp, like who are really young that don't know, they weren't there when she was doing Baby One More Time. They weren't even there when she was doing Toxic. They were like Free Britney.
Wow.
They were like dancing to her songs. Like they knew like who she was and what it was all about. And it's just like
I
look
love
at her
that.
impact just from like existing. It's pretty iconic.
I love that the youth are informed
Oh
and
yes.
knowledgeable. Did you with all these kids? I mean, how many kids were we talking on this camp? Did you spread the gospel of Mimi at any point during this camp?
You know what? We do what we can. We do what we can. We do what
we,
we can for sure. They
we always
love
have to pay it forward and educate people when we can.
yeah, for sure. I mean, whenever there was an opportunity for me to pick the playlist, there'd definitely be some MC on there. I know in camps gone by, we've done. They'll do like Christmas. They'll do like an activity for the morning. Will be like they'll do Christmas. So of course, I'm giving them
Hmm.
all the Mariah tunes for sure, and they love it. So
Fantastic. That actually will segue us
mm,
beautifully into first topic regarding Mimi. Today, we're going to chat a little bit about forthcoming projects and maybe some dream projects. I know that, like, personally, like, we've spoken, like, just you and I know you're not like a hundred excited for Christmas. I don't put words in your mouth, but I know that, maybe you're not like, it's not top of your
it's
list
never
of
top of
things
the
that you
priorities. No,
need. Yeah, yeah. But Christmas is coming, and what we are, I mean, rumors are always flying around, but like Twitter's been very active this week in particular, and what we are hearing, and what I was leaning towards anyway, like believing, but it sounds like nothing new outside of the Christmas realm is coming out this year. I
yeah,
think she's and like yeah, it's like it's it's October. It's like
there's no point.
let's just go for it. Let's just gear up and let's hit it hard again. Why not? So Christmas is going to be the next thing. So apparently this next Christmas special is going to be much bigger, which I believe it did well last year. So throw
Brilliant.
several more coins at it. Easier to record because it was really difficult last year. It's still difficult this year, but a little bit easier. Plus, they know what they're doing. So I'm expecting big. I'm expecting big budget, big production. And
Mm-hmm.
then, did you hear about the Clark sisters being involved?
Not until you said to me like right before we started talking, which is really cool.
Because there was one of them. Like, okay, I only know and listen to Karen Clark Sheard. I love Karen, but one of them, not Karen, was on something. She's in front of a camera or something captured her. She knows she's talking to an audience. Maybe she was. It was like an awards thing. I don't know, but she was kind of like speaking on behalf of her family and or something, and she wanted to name drop. She wanted to name drop. Oh, and like my sisters have just done something with Miss Mariah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, like it was just a complete drop. There's video
She
footage.
knew she wanted to say it.
Yeah,
Like,
she just wanted to put it out there, and I was like, oh my god, because I haven't done enough research into the gospel phenomenon of the Clark sisters, but I know and love Karen Clark Sheard because, of course, Mariah kind of introduced me to her. Like way back in the day, Mariah did an iTunes playlist where, like, an
mhm,
artist goes on and they drop in a few of theirs. I think it was Emancipation era, so she had like It's Like That,
yeah,
Shake It Off, We Belong Together, and then some other random ones. It's like, hey, celebrity, what are you listening to? Who are you listening to?
for sure. Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I remember Mariah featured, I don't know what kind of songs, but I remember that she had Karen Clark Sheard, and I believe it was Glorious Make the Praise. And Mariah was like, oh my God, you need to listen. She gives like a little note after each song. And the note for that song was, you have to check out the modulations in the backing vocals. And I was like, well, she loves a good backing vocal.
She loves her BBs.
So I went and listened to it. I was like, oh my God, yeah, because at the end it just builds and builds and builds, and it just modulates, 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 and it's
Mhm.
great. And I was like, okay, who is Karen Clark Sheard? Let me go and investigate. And I've got a whole Karen Clark Sheard playlist. I
Oh,
just
you'll
love.
have to send it.
Love, love, love. Because it's big vocals. It's like
Yeah.
it's gospel music, but there's just real like
Hmm.
real performances, and some of it's live as well. So I love it. I've listened to Karen Clark Sheard for the past like 15 years because Mariah put
Right.
her on her iTunes playlist, and also around Emancipation era. I seem to remember Mariah either in a written interview or maybe there was a video. Anyone that knows about this, please help me out because I can never find it. But she specifically named Karen Clark Sheard and said, "Oh, we're maybe hoping to do something for
Okay.
the next album." And felt like it was after Emancipation, possibly in the build up to E equals. I can't remember, but she definitely name checked Karen Clark
Yeah.
Sheard, and I'm like, I want a gospel moment. Maybe it's happening this
Yeah.
Christmas. I don't know.
This is what I think sort of she seems to be leaning into is like the music, but like the musicianship. Like, we got that Valentine's Day mix of We
Mm,
Belong Together. We've had all these stripped back versions of like songs that she's done before. She's spoken about working with Brandy. Um, it feels like she's really leaning into something that maybe isn't as commercial, something that's a little bit sort of like really invested in like the craft of like the vocals and the music and the production and that, rather than right, let's try and smash out some pop hits or some R&B things that are going to try and like chase the charts a little bit. I think
yeah.
after revisiting her career in with MC30 and with the book and all of that, I think it maybe feels like this is sort of like the next chapter, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think she was always going to do something for MC30, but I think we got a different and a longer moment because of the pandemic, and it must have.
Yeah.
And like I say, coupled with the memoir, I think it's just a perfect time to kind of take stock and reflect and remember moments where she enjoyed making the music the most, like you say, the craft. And she has said on Twitter Spaces a couple of times that working on what she's working on right now really takes her back to when she was working on Butterfly, when she was working on Emancipation. I'm like, you can't say these things, Mariah. You can't get us all geared up quite like that.
Yeah,
But it is exciting. If she feels happy and supported and creative, then I'm like, well, don't rush the woman, and the sky is literally the limit.
for sure. And so circling back to what you were sort of saying about Christmas and like the special, like two things. I think the first, it's great that we're just getting Christmas at Christmas, because I think, if we flash back to Caution, which I
Caution.
always talk about with you because I'm a huge fan of it,
Yeah.
that era I think was cut short a little bit because we had to squeeze it in between Vegas and Christmas. And it
That's
would have
right.
been nice if, that album had either been released at the top of 2019 or earlier in 2018, perhaps. But that's the way it sort of fell. And I just think it's nice this time that we're not getting any new original stuff, that we're just going to focus on Christmas, and then hopefully 2022 can be the year of sort of maybe new material or things that aren't sort of Christmas related. And then my second thing with the special, sort of, I feel like she's also at a point where she's a legacy artist, and like after like the Billboard Awards and like getting the acclaim for all of that, and like Emmy nominations and Golden Globes and things. I think that's the thing that she's sort of pushing for now, and with a special that she's doing, she's allowing herself to do her music and what she's done, but in a format that allows her to be sort of respected and noticed within sort of a different field within like television and film and stuff. And I think that's quite important to broaden broaden the brand almost, and broaden the legacy, because the music is so strong that like, well, let's bring the music into like different areas, which I think is really smart.
Absolutely, absolutely. It really is a broadening and it's branching out, but in like a very respectable way. Like this
Yeah,
is a major production. It's Apple, it's not her just, oh, we're gonna do this and like chuck it out, or making like
yeah,
a deal like, well, why is it there? How, like some TV shows like Move, like people always moan about, like in America, like Drag Race, for example, it's like a big production, but like, oh, hang on, I've got to subscribe to what to get like the latest All Stars for.
right, yeah,
Now you've changed your mind, you're switching it to, like, no, none of that. Like, no one can knock Apple. and Apple TV has been successful, and it really is, yeah, about broadening. Yeah, and as she said a couple times on Twitter Spaces again, like what she's, I don't know if it is Christmas or whether it's like the non-Christmas stuff that's going to follow next year, which we'll talk about later. But she keeps saying like, you guys don't even know it's something to like. I think even she said, you know, like her, she say the word like, was it legend or her oh my gosh, the word is eluding me right now. But it's to do with
Elusive
her.
word.
Yeah, the elusive word. It's to do with like her legacy. I think she did say legacy. I think she did. And I'm like, it's really, yeah. She always kind of like not rebukes the word like legend, but she always like plays it down, you know. But I think on Twitter Spaces, she actually has said, you know, you guys don't even know this is gonna be like really kind of like a big moment for like my legacy and
Yeah.
like bigger. I think she's got like she's thinking like broad, like you're saying, like bigger picture and really re-cementing herself. And I think I'd just love to see her do things that only she can do, or only she can do on that scale. Anyone can do a Christmas special, but
Mhm.
not everyone can do what Mariah, I feel like, is about to do.
For sure. And like, I touch on it very lightly because we don't need to like delve back into those moments. But there was a period of time where like the things that were being created, where the brand was being attempted, they were attempting to expand the brand and the legacy, but almost in the wrong direction. And I think they've nailed where they're at now. We don't need sort of home shopping moments, or like we don't need I don't know, specials and things like reality things. Like this is, let's focus on the music, but put the music into different mediums. And it's just,
Yeah.
I think the smartest thing that she can do. And it's where she's great, when she's in a studio setting, which a TV studio is sort of, it's not a recording studio, but like it's a controlled environment where she has, creative control. She's directed music videos before. She understands how it all works on camera. So to put her music into that medium is sort of is really smart. And I like that she's being vague. She's always vague, but I like it because it means that we're hyped, but we're not getting specifics, only for them maybe to get like ripped away from us if something falls through or something doesn't happen
Yeah.
or whatever. So it's
Yeah.
good that she's not telling us things.
I feel like the last Twitter space, she was more cagey deliberately. So I think she's been like
Mm-hmm.
briefed or lightly, you know, racked on the list. Also, I don't know, but she
Yeah.
was less forthcoming with details, and I think that's fine. I'm happy to get a big reveal. Listen, we need to take a very quick break, and there's much more to talk about. We'll be right back after this. Hey kids, I'm so excited to share the news that I'll be hosting another live edition of Lamb vs. Lamb on my YouTube channel. Join me as I host a Mariah Carey quiz live on my channel, and what's more, I'll be joined by my good Lamb friend, Nath Moore. Nath and I have gone head-to-head in a number of Lamb vs. Lamb quizzes on my channel, and on the last live quiz, some of you guys got to play against him. Well, this time, Nath will be hosting live with me as he is paying me a visit. We're looking forward to catching up and geeking out on a whole weekend of Mariah, and part of our fun is going to be hosting a live edition of Lamb vs. Lamb together. So join me on my YouTube channel on Saturday, October 9th at 8 p.m. UK time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Central for you American lambs. Okay, one more thing to mention about Christmas, though, actually, is again, Twitter is just feeding and teasing me. And I love you guys that tag me in things. Thank you so much. I really do love waking up to like Twitter tags, and I'm like, what have I missed? What have I missed? What have I missed? And people are tagging me in threads and things. I love it. So we had the whole Walker's Crisps Christmas collaboration. Have you heard what
So
maybe is
good.
coming next?
No, I haven't. I'm so out the
We
loop.
I think it's going to be a McDonald's moment.
Oh, brilliant. Her biting the end of a single chip and
I
then
know,
being
right?
done.
Can you imagine Mariah like handling like a burger or a nugget? It's going to be a
I
single
can't.
fry or something.
I can't. I mean, back in the 90s, she was all for it, sneaking off to McDonald's and getting fries. But these days,
I know nothing. This is me just passing on, you know, rumors and things on
mhm,
Twitter. But celebrities are doing things, you know, with McDonald's. I think it's more like over in America, like maybe you
yeah.
know more, but like a celebrity will like do like a meal, like, oh, what's the Josh meal, and it's like your
They
favorite
will, yeah.
fillings and your packaging and your face. It's that kind of thing. But if Mariah did like a festive deluxe burger
Oh,
or
she
like a
will, for
festive
sure.
meal or something,
I could see
I
that.
think, yeah, because I mean, I did cringe at the whole when we heard rumors, which were before now, like before September time, October time, for Walkers. I cringed. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be really tacky seeing her face on crisp
Mhm.
packets. And then the advertising campaign just came out and just shut me up and proved me
Oh, it was
wrong.
so good.
It was done so well. The only thing that bothered me was in the TV commercial and the close-ups with her hands, the butterfly ring wasn't there. Like it wasn't her hands doing the pulling back and forth or
Mhm.
whatever. They used a hand
But
double or
even
something.
even
I don't
that even that in itself is so camp and so funny.
know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was obviously on the set of, because she's in the same outfits that she wore for, was it the Apple? Was she in the same? Am I making that up?
The red dress in the Walkers, and I
For
think she
like the
used it a few
promo.
times. I think it was promo for the Apple special, like the cut, like the cover art. But
Hmm.
also didn't it appear in the music video for All I
That's
Want,
what it
Make My
was.
Wish Come
Sorry,
True edition?
it was the new recording of the new video of All I Want
Yeah,
for Christmas Is You,
yeah,
and you just know she was on the set of that, and then they just got Walkers to come in, and like in between takes, she did like you know, some stuff and did her thing, and then carried on with the video.
yeah,
It was perfect. It was so
yeah,
camp, and I think when it's Christmas, it kind of doesn't matter. You know what I mean? She can do
yeah.
those
That's the
things
thing. Yeah,
because there's an expectation for it to happen now, and there's just a comedy to it and a self awareness that she's always had.
yes,
She's
yes,
always known,
yes.
but I think the general public are starting to know now, and I think social media helps. The fact that like people can tweet out the memes of things, with her just taking that tiny bite, and then the hands back and forth, like there's a self awareness, and the general public are sort of buying into that, which I think is
Yeah.
good. The whole diva thing is a joke rather than, oh, this is actually true. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've said several times here on the show, she is in on the joke. That is the whole
Yeah,
point. But I don't. The self awareness is important because it makes her human. But there's nothing wrong with playing dress up and feeling yourself and being a little bit grand here and there.
at
Life
all.
is for living and be festive. Why not? I love the idea of McDonald's because it's just like, okay, Walker's crisps and all the Americans like who what, but McDonald's is global. But I love the idea of every Christmas now. Like, what if like all these different major brands like fighting over her? Like, she's gonna do one big deal,
She's
one brand
pitching.
every Christmas, and there's like a bidding war going on. As the year goes on. Last year, so we've had Walkers, and now possibly McDonald's next year. Who knows?
I
Who
love
knows?
I love Pepsi again, because
Oh, that's yeah, always
that
fun.
Doja Cat video with the "You're the One That I Want." I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Is the production value on that is insane.
Oh yeah,
Something Pepsi always pull it out the bag. Like I mean, back in the day, the Mariah Pepsi commercials were amazing. So
so good.
now, like we could get a remake of a song, or it just got
Yeah.
me thinking, because Doja obviously did Grease, and I'm like, what if we got like a Mariah "Hopelessly Devoted to You" remix moment? Like, I still think that's a cover that she could do, like
Yeah.
just a cute little studio version of. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're not talking dream
Oh,
projects yet.
I love it. But yeah, we will get to dream projects. But yeah, sticking to projected projects
Mm.
for now. So also on the Twitter sphere, we are hearing rumblings of a potential Vegas residency. I feel like again, it's easy to believe because I don't feel like she's done with Vegas. I think it works well for her.
Hmm.
Again,
Yeah,
controlled environment. There's consistency. There can be a schooling situation for the kids. She can agree to however many months she wants to or doesn't want to. So I'm sure all the kids have seen it floating around on Twitter. Apparently, it's in negotiation, possibly for March. How do you feel about a new Vegas presidency, possibly from next year?
great. I think it's great. I'm not like excited about it, but there is something nice about you know when she's got like her shows on, being able to like flick onto YouTube and sort of see how she's doing. Like, are there any new dresses? What's the set list like? Did she do any snippets of like some new things? How's the
Yeah.
voice? Like, how's the hair? How are the
Yeah.
wigs? Like
Yeah.
all the stuff. It can be quite fun to sort of keep up with that.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. I'm never 100% excited about Vegas because I think once you've seen the sort of once you've seen the set list, you're like, oh, okay, so this is what it's going to be like for the rest of the run, basically, and
Yeah.
you get changes ever so sort of sporadically. And my only thing is, if there is new material and a new album, what I hope doesn't happen is that she books Vegas so far in advance that then it interferes with a tour, or the promo of an album then has to be sort of like crammed into a small period of time. So, um, but I'm excited for it. Like it's just nice to see her on stage, and I think she likes interacting with the fans a lot in that sort of capacity as well. So
Yeah, it feels different to a tour. I like the fact that it's accessible. You're like, oh, you're gonna be there, cool. I'll book. I'll come see you. It's more relaxed than scrambling. Like she's in London for one night, or like Caution was spoiled three. It's more like, oh, she's gonna be there for like 20 shows. Okay, cool. And at this point, if she announces Vegas, I'm going. I know I'm going. Um, a friend of mine rejoins Cirque du Soleil and is going to be out there. I'm like, oh, cool, right, you're going to be out there, and I've got
yeah,
Mariah apparently is going to be there, and there's some good shopping to be done over there. So I'm more than happy to go because it's like the cornerstone of then I build a trip around it. That
for
we
sure.
get
Yeah,
the
and you
ticket,
know in
then we get the
advance, don't
flights.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, you can book it. It's just more chilled and more relaxed. But then I feel like when it's a residency, you've got to cater to like the average person on the street. Like, oh, Mariah's in town. What she's thinking? It has to be the hits. It has to be songs that they know. So you're going to get people in. But what makes me curious is to kind of go on to the next point is we are hearing also rumors of a potentially new single coming June, followed by an album in July. And the single title, this could be absolute as I don't know if I say we Brits say, but I say codswallop. Could be absolute bollocks, basically.
yeah,
But Black Box is the single title that just keeps coming
yeah.
up, and it came up again. And I'm like, wow, I keep hearing this. Is Black Box actually a thing? So potentially Vegas residency March, April, May, she's done. Maybe she can use the residency to tease a little bit of new material,
Yeah.
and then single June, album July, and it's right bang in the middle of the year. So it's as far away from Christmas 21, 22 that it can be.
Oh
The
yeah. Summer
timing,
record.
yeah. Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, the timing for me. Let's go back. Let's go back and let's have a nostalgic heartbreaker. Let's have a
Right.
fantasy. Let's have a We Belong Together. Let's have a summer bop.
Hmm.
The timing looks smart. It looks sensible. If this is legit, if this is correct, I'm happy with the timing.
I think so because it really balances out the year, doesn't it? So
Yeah,
you can kind of you can get yourself back into sort of like that working shape in Vegas, like in your controlled environment, but you can get the voice going, get the the stage presence, get used to all of that again because it's been a minute for so many performers, and getting back on stage for a lot of people will feel like, oh wow, this is not something I've done in a while because it's a big thing, like putting on a show, and rather than doing something in a studio or doing something on camera. So getting that all sorted is like almost like a great practice for like new material. And like you said, throw in a couple of new songs maybe and get those good. So when you start promoting them on, the Good Morning Americas and the Jimmy Fallons and things like that, it won't be like first jitters, nerves of like, oh,
mm,
I've got to do this. Maybe we've performed them a couple of times out in Vegas, so um, it won't be so scary and the pressure won't be on as much. And then to have a summer record, summer album would be so cool, right in the middle of the year. So then you've still got Christmas coming up, but there's time to maybe do like a summer tour. Doesn't have to be that long,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. I do wonder about the content of this non-Christmas album because we know she's working on non-Christmas music, but like you said at the beginning, it's more about her expressing herself, like showing the craft.
Yeah.
And she said like, oh, I don't even care if I'm on the cover of this app. It's not, that's not what it's about. It's about seeing me. You know, I'm there with the engineer. I'm there
Mhm.
with the with the musicians. I think we want to see her as the songwriter and the producer. And I'm like, wow. So I wonder what kind of music she is making. Are we gonna? I don't think
Yeah.
we can get like a summer bop bop bop, but
But you can
I
still have summary bops that are like, if you think about someone like an India RA or something like that, like so many of her albums are like summary, but they're like organic as well, which is, you know, it's just as thrilling, I think, and just like you can really like settle into a nice sort of summery groove without it being
yeah,
like super pop or super like hip hop or whatever.
yeah,
So I think there's a way to do it, and it could really
you're right.
like bring about some great live performances too.
Yeah, it's something organic. I can see her like at Vegas. If she's like, can you imagine being in at Vegas at residency? You're happy to be there. Okay, yeah, we've got We Belong Together. We've got Shake It Off. We've got Always Be My Baby. Love all of them. And then but you're just happy to see her again on stage. And
Mm-hmm.
Vegas is fun, whatever. But then she's like, do you guys want to hear a new song? I've got an album coming out, and like she busts out something. But I think it's good. In my head, it would be like almost like a piano moment,
Oh
like
yeah, for sure.
her just kind of those freewheeling moments where she even like makes songs up on the freaking spot,
Yeah,
stuff like that. I can see her doing things like that. I love the idea of her doing something organic and just really like there with the musicians, because you spoke about that with Charm Bracelet and like recording, singing while the music's being played and recording. Like, just I want to see that. I want the people to see that. I want people to see that
yeah,
she is at the pinnacle of her craft. We keep saying using the word, but that's what it is. She's so skilled and she's so like she's hands on producing, and
okay.
I want to see more of that directly, like my own eyeballs. But I want everyone to see that. I want everyone to see that she's not just going in and laying down some vocals and then
Yeah.
sashaying out. She's so hands on. Um,
And
it's
what I'd love as well with that is it's sort of it takes the pressure off a little bit with like all the live stuff as well, because so much of her work from the past has been incredibly polished, and like the ad libs become part of the song, and so
yeah,
they become expected when she performs it live, when really she's ad libbing, it's an ad lib, but they're so iconic and she's like crafted them to fit the melody that it almost becomes as important as the tune,
oh
which
yeah,
is quite simple. And so for her to do something that's maybe a bit more stripped, organic, musical in that way, it would hopefully mean that like when she does it live, she can do whatever she wants with it. It can be a little bit more like Lullaby of Birdland jazzy, and we're not thinking, oh, she's going to hit this big note, or she's got to hit this whistle, or she's got to do this. She doesn't have to, and it's the vibe and the mood and the performance that's important, rather than she just hit a note. You know what I mean? Which I think a lot of people get really like fixated on, and it's not
yes,
necessary. It's not
yeah.
necessary.
It's not a technical grading. Like we're
No,
not there.
she's not in
Like
like a music class, like singing like you write grade A for emotions whistle note.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
I'm sick of seeing that. No shade to anyone that does this, but I'm sick of seeing like mixes on YouTube where it's like G5, C sharp. I'm like, I don't care what note she hit. Like, I don't care about the maths of what she's doing. Like, just enjoy the performance and like what she's doing. And if she can get to a vibe like that, that would be so good.
yeah, yeah. I would love some more like We Belong Together
Oh yeah,
reimaginations. Even that little lullaby version of Always Be My Baby is just. I know it's like just 2 minutes nothing, whatever, but it's not the full song. I love that. That's on my bedtime playlist, and I often go, "Oh, we're shuffle, but we'll go to that first because I just love that. It's so sweet, so tender because it's
cute.
familiar, but it's a new imagining, and I feel
Mm.
like she's having fun with it and moving away from the whole like predicted. I have to do it in this kind of
Yeah.
formulaic way, but she still gets to put time and care into it because she has
Mhm.
produced it. So I'm like, it's scratching lots of different itches for me, and I hope
For sure.
we get more reimaginings. I mean, maybe part of this project is there's a few new songs, but actually she's gone back and pulled something out and go, "Do you know what? I was never really happy with how that song ended up, or let me
Yeah.
take that and completely blow you guys' mind by making it a whole different song by reworking it. Maybe it's going to be like a 50-50, some new, but some reimagining. It just depends how reflective she's been. Just very quickly before we go to break, a couple of other things related to Glitter on the latest Twitter Space chat. Have you been catching her on Twitter Spaces, by the way?
You know what? I got in on one, and then I kind of freaked out and panicked and just didn't want to go and didn't want to do it because I felt like, am I going to get called upon? What am I going to say? And like listening to a lot of people kind of like excitedly talk, like, I don't know, I got a little bit anxious, if I'm honest, and kind of like dipped out and was like, I'll wait for Treacle to give me the rundown and I'll watch his episodes because that
You
just feels a
can
little bit less pressure.
you can listen. You don't have to request to be a speaker. So there'll be like thousands of people listening.
Yeah.
Just like 8 or whatever. The last one, I was at work. I saw it happening. Couldn't catch it. And then it was already up in full on YouTube. Like I was like, well, I can't bring anything to the party. I wasn't part of it. I'm catching up, and there weren't any massive headlines. But she did. Somebody asked her about glitter vinyl, and I was like, "Ooh, good question." And then she said something like, "Oh, we have to make it happen. Yeah, we have to make it happen." But she reminded us all that she owns the music, so it would be her expense in it. So it's like, no, she's like, we have to find a way for it, but it's more difficult. So she kind of referenced that. So some people are looking to maybe early next year we might get Glitter. I'm like, well, Glitter 21, why not? A 21st anniversary is still as exciting as a 20th anniversary. So why not?
It's so funny that like if you like every single day on Twitter there is a new anniversary for something.
I know, yeah.
Because her
She's
legacy
out that,
is so like crazy long. Like she's done so much. It's
yeah.
like there's anniversary after anniversary. It's brilliant.
You can be like, yeah, it can be Butterflies 24th and Emotions, 20 whatever, and then but don't forget it's Glitter 20. It's all going on, and I love it. It's just nuts. She did also say in the Twitter space, her words again this time. I keep trying to manifest this. I keep saying it like a Rocky Horror Picture Show style screening of Glitter, and I really want this to happen. I've said it just like an episode or two ago, so I won't keep boring everyone with it, but I was very excited to hear Mariah actually say that again, because she said it like 2018 or something, around the Justice for Glitter timeframe. So she did mention Glitter a little bit, and I feel like, well, we didn't get a whole Glitter 20 moment, but maybe Glitter 21, who knows?
Well, there's no reason that couldn't tie into Vegas in some way, because yes, there's all these incredibly huge venues there, but there's also smaller sort of like cabaret venues. So what if there's like a tie-in, and that like there's they could get live performers or like live musicians that come in and like do glitter while it's playing, or you know what I mean, and get people to like interact and engage. And that could be like you get a percentage off your ticket. If you buy the ticket for Mariah, you can also go here and see this and do that, and it could be a complete time. She could be involved in it as well. Maybe
make
record
it
some
immersive
new material for it. Yeah, for sure. Like there's no reason why that couldn't happen.
Right, we're coming up with some new ideas. So yeah, we're gonna take a little break, and then when we come back, we're gonna add more to Mariah's to-do list and come up with some more projects for her. Thanks for listening to Hey Lamb, guys. I hope you are enjoying it. If you are, you can leave me a little tip. You can buy me a drink over on buymeacoffee.com. It is a great way to show your support to your favorite creators by buying them a drink. Simply head over to buymeacoffee.com/heylamb and you can tip me with a little drink. Cheers. And we are back. So we're starting now to think about dream projects. I am taking everything we've said so far and saying, yeah, they are dream projects. I would like to have a residency. I would like to have a new album. I know you want Caution 2.0.
Yeah, I know I'm like beating a dead horse really, but Caution for me is top 5. I think it's one of the best things that she's done, and I think it was the catalyst for like where we are now. Like from 2018 to now has just been incredible. And I was shocked when she said that she's not 100% happy with it. She wanted a few more tracks. She wanted, because for me, like I think I've probably written it in one of the many long paragraphs I put under your YouTube videos, but it was the fact that, like, for the first time since Emancipation of Mimi, we were going back to a one-word title, and it was, it wasn't Rainbow or Butterfly, it was Caution. So it's like, it's more grown up, it's sexier, it's more adult. We've gone back to the slick 10 tracks, like, the debut and the Emotions era. It felt like a full circle moment, but with a load of growth. The rollout was amazing. The artwork is incredible. The tour set list was incredible. Like, if she tomorrow was like, yeah, I'm releasing the deluxe edition of Caution with, some GTFO club mixes, remixes of a no-no, a couple of music videos, I would be happy. I wouldn't need a new album. I'd be like, great. But that isn't going to happen unless we get like a continuation of MC30,
I
which isn't going
know.
to happen.
I know.
So
I know.
that's what I want. That's a dream, but that's a full-on pipe dream. Realistic things, I think I'd be happy with the rarities too at some point.
Oh yeah, I think we will. She's asked about There For Me on the Twitter Spaces. Someone asked about There
Yeah.
For Me, and she said, yeah, that was written for the lambs, etc. Would you guys want There For Me for rarities too? And like she'd like teased it, and I think yeah, in a few years. But absolutely,
Yeah.
we definitely have enough material for rarities volume 2.
And I think it's smart. Like, I'd love it now because obviously we're all greedy and she's so good at feeding us. But like, it's actually smart for her to hold back on that and like
Yeah,
bring it out like down the line. Like, if it's 5, 10 years, like she can like crack out a rarities too. And she always puts so much like heart and soul into those projects. Like, I think back to like the number ones, like when you listen listen, because I listen to the Audible version, but like when you read, the memoir, and she talks about how, number ones, Rainbow, and then like remixes and greatest hits were all part of like a deal to like get her out of Sony. But she put so much promo and work into the number ones, and she
yeah.
did that with the rarities and tied it in. She's really smart with that, and I can see her doing that down the line with like a rarities too as well.
Definitely, definitely. I feel like she feels like she's in good company, and she is because Barbara Streisand earlier this year, released Me Volume 2, which is a 9-year follow up to Release Me, and it's like it's exactly the same. It's dipping into the vault, and
Yeah,
she had the two volumes like 9 years apart, I think it was. So
perfect.
I don't want to wait 8 more years, Mariah, but
Absolutely not. Absolutely
but yeah,
not.
if you get to like a point where you're like, oh, I'm having like a kickback year, or it's a
Yeah.
residency year, it's a compilation. Let's give the kids, let's reach in, get a handful of
Yeah.
songs from the vault, but package it up, put some care into it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because
I'm all for that.
I don't need another greatest hits. I don't need
Mm-mm, no.
that. But I could do a rarities too, or I could do a live album of like her the greatest live
Yeah.
performances would be
Oh
really
God,
good.
yes, yeah. I threw that out there
Yeah.
on my platforms. Absolutely, Taz and I picked
Love the
our 15
choices.
15
Yeah.
top ones. Yeah, absolutely. I think we need that kind of Blu-ray thing, tour footage as well. I've been
Oh yeah.
saying there's so much. I would love for her to release like a bumper box set, DVD box set, or
Yeah.
something, or even if it was on her YouTube channel and there was like Charm
Yeah.
Bracelet Week, Butterfly Week, Rainbow
Yeah.
Week, and it danced
And
around
she can do
different eras.
premieres because there was nothing more thrilling than when there was that premiere of the Tokyo Dome and
Yeah,
like everyone was watching along. It
yeah.
felt like you were there, people chatting and like talking about it and reminiscing. You know, we can do that with Charm Bracelet. Such a good tour.
Yeah.
One of her best.
It would be good.
So
So good.
there's room to do that for sure. I think live stuff, live tours, footage and things. Yeah.
Are there any other like dream projects? Anything you want to put on her list of things to do in the next few years?
Hmm.
She's hitting a lot of things for me at the minute. She really is ticking. I know we're going to get another studio album.
Yeah.
I feel like we will get another tour. I feel like we will get
I
rarities
know.
again.
We've got to have like a lamb tour.
Oh, like all the deep
Where
cuts.
yeah, and something that's not in a big venue.
Yeah.
Something that's in like when she was doing theatres for Charm Bracelet, like
Hmm.
something that's a little bit more intimate. Like seeing her at the Royal Albert Hall was really special because it didn't feel like
Oh
you're in the
yeah.
O2 Arena. You're in a classy venue. So kind of like Madonna did with the Madam X tour, like touring theatres. Mariah could do that, but like do it specifically for gear it towards the lambs because she's Mariah. She's still gonna get, you know, um, there's still gonna be reviewers coming in. It's still gonna get press, and it can be done in a way where she can take the again, like we say, take the pressure off, and do a little bit of give us a little snippet of "To Be Around You" from
Yeah.
Emotions, just with the piano, or give us like a little throwback to a moment she did. Give us a little bit of "Got to Be Real." Something like that
Mm.
would be really cool. For
Yeah,
sure, I'd
well,
love
we
that.
can. I mean, she can do Twitter Spaces and start chatting to lambs, and she do Twitter polls like, "What do you guys want to hear? What should make the cut?"
Hmm.
and things like that. I remember back, I think it was Charm Bracelet Tour. She would open up on her website. You can vote for a song, and I think one
Yeah,
time, Looking In appeared as a choice, and we were like, "Whoa, oh my God, there's a chance she might sing it." And then as the tour was going, it became quite apparent that actually it doesn't matter
it was
what
all
wins the
bullshit,
poll.
wasn't it?
Nothing's making the set
Can't take that
list.
away from me.
Yeah, it was just such a tease. It was such a tease. But if the Lambs got to shape a set list
Hmm.
for a concert that was just for us, which is why I really, really am surprised we didn't get a virtual concert for MC30. I
Oh, I'd
thought
still
it'd be
love
the
that.
big finish. I think there's still time. I think there is. Maybe I can only hope that it's something that she is working on as part of her legacy. You guys don't know. You've got no idea. But where because they're making it on such a big thing where they want to get like a really big partner, and they want more than lambs. They want to make it like everyone's tuning in. It's like a one
Yeah.
night only international
Hmm.
thing, because she's that caliber. Yeah, she could do something just for us and talk to us about it on
Hmm.
Twitter and then go on. She's in a home studio, but she could. There have been some pretty decent productions, like
Oh yeah.
live things, and she could do something where controlled environment. It's very well with her. She's happy with the angles and the lighting, all of that, but it is live and there's like cutaways so she can like change
Yeah.
outfits, powder her nose. So it is like a concert. There's like a compare or presenter or like someone. There's
Yeah.
like different things. But I would love a virtual moment. But I want the virtual moment in a way to not be too grand and overproduced, because what I loved about my original like idea, like in like lockdown, to have a lockdown concert, was those YouTube videos where she's uploading a
Yeah.
performance. It's so intimate, like you're in her home recording studio and
Hmm.
there's like two cameras. She knocks her headphones, you see it,
Yeah.
and she has to catch them, and like whatever, like it's yeah, she's probably done it like a couple of times. They pieced it together, picked the favorite bits, whatever. I don't care about that, but it's just how intimate it is. Like there she is with a key light and a microphone, and boom, just watch her do her
Hmm.
thing. I would love for her to do some kind of virtual concert, because that might be the only way we get some songs. Because I do worry about like a Lamb tour not being viable, because she's got
Sure.
to in some territories. Whereas if it was virtual, and also you can do like meet and greet and like
Hmm.
competitions and raffles, or
For sure.
you can pay for like a 60-second virtual meet and greet. You both pose for a photo. Like it
Yeah.
could be, it could be. I think that's viable.
I'd love both.
Let's
Obviously,
have
why
both.
not
Why
both?
pick?
Let's do both. But I'd love. So I think that we need to like toe the line a little bit, or like be careful with the at-home stuff, because it can dip into like me I'm Mariah era, which they felt a little bit like she's at home, but it feels a little bit cheap. And I prefer where it's more like, okay, if we're gonna do that, it's like studio with the band kind of vibes,
Yeah, yeah.
um, and a little bit closer to almost like MTV Unplugged, but at home, rather than like I'm at my house, but I'm giving you a polished pre-recorded performance. Like I don't
Yeah,
want that.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
do want it to feel like more organic. Or we go the complete other way and something that is um, like sort of like a real spectacle, and there is lights and there's like set pieces and things like that. We don't have to have choreography, but like we have, there's each number has a moment, rather than it
Hmm.
just being a sort of stand with the mic kind of vibe. So I think
Yeah.
one or the other or both would be great, you know.
I think it needs to be, if it's live, it just needs to feel live,
Hmm.
and not just like, oh, the vocals live, but like it's interactive.
Yeah.
There's got to be some moment of, you are watching her deliver it at that moment in
Hmm.
time, because of the way she is delivering it and communicating, and how it's all kind of set up in a way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many. So even like Glitter, I'm like, we could do like a big watch along together.
I'd
But
love a
she's
watch
there
along with
doing
her,
like digital
talking.
commentary. Yeah, she could do a
Yeah.
voiceover, or she could have a camera on her, and she's like an insert in the corner. She's all right. Pause. Oh my god, guys, let me tell you, blah, blah, blah,
Or
the drama
or
with that.
even if it's like put together and it's like done almost like you would on TV. It has like ad breaks, splash breaks, who knows? And
Yeah,
she speaks in them. She's like, right guys, how what are we thinking? Like how funny was that moment? Like and comes
yeah,
in
yeah.
between could be really cool too.
Oh my god, so much. The list is getting longer, longer, longer. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
leave it there for now because I have to save just enough time to play Spin, Pin, or Bin with you because we haven't done this in a while. But here we go. Very quick reminder of the rules. We're going to have 3 songs come up at random. It's the entire catalogue apart from Christmas. One has to be spin, one for pin, one for bin. Spin is love it, keep it, play it now. Pin is meh, I don't know, maybe another time. And bin is gone. Throw it out, never get to hear it again. Josh, are you ready?
I'm so ready. It's my favorite thing.
Here we go. The 3 songs are Always Be My Baby, Camouflage, and When I Saw You. That's an interesting little mix. So we've got
Ooh,
Always Be My Baby from Daydream. We've got Camouflage from Me I Am and When I Saw You from Daydream. I actually really like all 3 of these songs.
me too.
I need to think. Okay, okay. I always let the guest go first because you're the guest, but that's sneaky because it gives me extra thinking time. Do you know what you want
So
to do?
yeah, oh yeah. I think I knew from the beginning. I think
Okay.
I knew from the beginning. Uh it's basic, but you can't not. I'm gonna have to spin Always Be My Baby. I have to. The moment I hear that guitar intro, it just sends me to a place. Like and I just gives me the warm fuzzies and I love it. I think it's flawless. Um, I'm going to pin When I Saw You. I think it's just a vocal powerhouse. And I know that, like, it might be a little bit cheesy or a little bit like old school. I know what she's doing with Camouflage is like incredibly heartfelt. The layering is insane. Like, but I think I could probably throw on When I Saw You with more ease. So I'm going to have to bin Camouflage, even though
It,
I adore it.
it's a painful one this time. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also going to spin Always Be My Baby. I was kind of not done with that song, but it's like, within Mariah's discography, it's
Mm-hmm.
rather overplayed, but I'm all about it. I'm all about it again over the past couple of years. I think MC30 actually really like just did it for me as well.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I'm going to spin Always Be My Baby because we have to protect that at all costs. And the other 2, I'm really, really torn, but I'm going to do opposite to you. I'm going to pin Camouflage because I do love how emotional it is. It's very mature, and I just fell in love with it straight away. And I really, really do love When I Saw You. So I'm not going to throw it in the bin. I'm going to place it in very gently.
Just
But
place it
that
on
would
the
be my
top
pick.
and you can pick it out maybe secretly
I
later.
might, I might sneak it out later when no one's looking. All right, guys, let us know what you would do with Always Be My Baby, Camouflage, and When I Saw You for spin, pin, or bin. Thank you so much for joining me, Josh. Welcome back to the little
Yeah,
family here on the podcast.
thank
Now
you.
you're back in the country. Hopefully, we can get you on again sometime. Remind everyone where they can find you online.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter, and it's just my name at Joshua Tonks,
Nice and
right down below.
simple at Joshua Tonks on Instagram and Twitter. Guys, we're going to carry on chatting on the after show Extra Chop. So those of you who are members of my YouTube channel, you can get more of Josh over on there. But for now, we're going to love you and leave you. Bye bye.